guys, I'm Tyler, and welcome to another episode of my Christian Music Weekend Reviews. Each week I take 5 releases, be it albums or singles, and after having listened to them all week, I come back here and I review them. So without further ado, let's get to the first release. Is Skillet's new album, Victorious. There are some pop elements sprinkled into this album with the bass and the synthesizers, but I think the guitar riffs give this album an overall heavier feel, even with that. I'll admit I wasn't the biggest fan of this album when I first listened to it. I thought some of the pop elements were poorly applied upon first listen, but after a couple more listens, this album started to grow on me to the point where I really liked most of it, and I'm sure that the rest of it will grow on me in time. As for the lyrics, I love the lyrics, by the way, from Listen 1, just to be clear. So the lyrics, I love what they talk about. They talk about God giving us strength to fight and overcome obstacles and fear, to be victorious over them. Quite a few of the lyrics, too, seem to be cries to God for redemption as well. And by the way, I like Legendary so much that I made it my ringtone for the football season, so just thought I'd mention that fact in there. Camp's new single, Should Have Been Me. Now, some of you may remember when, about a month ago, I featured his previous single, Still Alive. But unlike last time, now I have a name for the album. The album is going to be called The Story's Not Over, and it comes out September 20th. And oh, by the way, Still Alive is such a good song that if you haven't heard it yet, go back and check out my review on it. It'll be under the June 28th releases if you're looking for it. But anyhow, back to this song. Should Have Been Me. So, the song has kind of a funky feel to it with the way the bass and the guitar is. It has kind of a funk pop feel to it, which is something I've heard quite a bit of over the last few years. And the chorus is synth pop, and as for the lyrics, Jeremy talks about how even though he should have borne the burden and shame, Christ bore it for him. And that goes for all of us, by the way. Christ bore every one of ours burdens and shames there on the cross for us. So I love the lyrics here and looking forward to the new album. Release is 10th Avenue North's new album, No Shame. I like the sound on this album. They sprinkle in some pop elements that are kind of giving them a new feel, but on the other hand, they also brought back some elements of their sound that we haven't heard from them in a few years. So, kind of a step forward and then a step into the past simultaneously. As for the lyrics, I love the lyrics here. They talk about how God has set us free from shame, and also that we can move on from our past and live with the perspective that the best yet to come. I like how at a couple points too, and I think this is something that honestly needs to be addressed here, is that so often in our church culture we hear no condemnation, but sometimes there is judgment in the church, unfortunately, when sin is confessed. So I like how 10th Avenue North encourages the church to show grace in dealing with matters of sin. This new single, Walk With You. Now, unlike last time when I reviewed his previous single, Rescue Story, which, by the way, if you did not see my review on that one, go back to the video on June 21st releases, and you can hear my thoughts on that song. But, unlike last time anyhow, The album now actually has a name to it, Rescue Story, and it comes out October 6th. But as for this song this week, Walk With You, it's a nice southern rock ballad. And in the song, he talks about how even though the devil's tempting him to take the easy way, Zach is going to take the narrow road and walk with God. Is Red's second independent single, From the Ashes. This comes on the heels of their previous single, The Evening Kate, which, by the way, if you want to hear my review on that, go back and watch the very first video I ever did, and that's the release that started. But, as for this week was From the Ashes, I really love this song. It's really nice how heavy it is with the crunching guitars. And the drums, at least in the first verse, were pounding. They kind of got more measured as the song went on. But overall, it retains a heavy feel. As for the lyrics, they talk about how, yes, even though he's pushed currently inside the darkness, he will rise from the ashes as we all do. Now, as an update to their funding campaign, so it's only 83% fully funded. So if you want to go and fund these guys to make sure they keep making great music like this, I'm going to leave a link in the description below so you guys can go and fund them and help them keep making great music. Back next week, talk about 5 more releases. If you enjoyed this review video, please subscribe. And also follow My Christian Music Weekend Reviews on Facebook. I'm going to leave the link in the description below so you can find my business page. And if there's any releases you want me to feature, comment below, request them, and I'll try to get those in. You can request albums that are yet to come out for a little while as well, because this will allow me to feature your favorite pre-order singles as well. Well, that's it for this week. Bye.